So these days, if you see, like most of the organization already started moving to the REST API world, like developing a lot of microservices using the REST API. So when you write a REST API, and you should be having a lot of end URLs, right? So how to, there are actually there are a lot of standards followed mm, in by if you are using the REST API, you have to follow some of the standards. Okay, so that's a objective of this video, like going to a use case, and according to for that use case, how we can come up with a endpoints. Okay, so when you are writing a endpoints, when you are configuring a endpoint, you need to keep in mind, okay, whether the resource is singular, okay, or it is a plural, like if it is a collection of resources. Okay, so based on that, you need to use a singular or plural names in your endpoints also, and also never ever use the curd functions in the name. Okay, because you should be using the get post or put the REST APIs to say whether it is which operation it is. Okay, you shouldn't be using the curd function as part of the name. Okay, so let's take a use case, right? So let's say, like, I have a employee table, and I need to get a employee details. Okay, and also sometime I need to go and place an order for an employee. Okay, and the order can have a multiple line items. Okay, so to start with, okay, I want to create an employee, right? So create an employee. Okay, even though I'm going to create one employee, okay, it is going to put, I'm going to put that employee into a pool of employees, right? So that's a collection of employees. That's not a single resource, it's a multiple resource, right? So when you so whenever you're going to create, it is nothing but a post request, right? So for your post request, it should be employees. It is not supposed to be employee. Okay, so here you need to be very clear. So whether you need to use employee or employees. So if we are very sure there is only one employee going to be there always, okay, there is no collection of employee, then you can go with a singular. But you're going to put this particular pojo into a collection, right? So it is going to be employees. Okay, and let's say, like, I want to get, or I want to update the employee, or I want to delete a particular employee. So for that, the REST methods, we can use any of these REST methods, like get, put, or delete. Okay, and you just need to pass the ID as a parameter. Okay, still it is an employees, and for the employees you are going to pass the employee ID as a parameter. So if you see, okay, most of our requirements will fit with these two, right? Two URLs, like you're going to create, or you're going to get, put, or delete, right? So this is a simple use case. So let's say, like, for the employee, I'm going to put the orders, and for each order, like, I need to create the line items, right? So for that, from let's say, like, for I want to create an order, right? So if I simply say, like, domain.com/orders, okay, that end URL, not telling me to which employee I am going to put that orders, right? So it is better to connect the employees and orders as part of your end URL. So the better way is, okay, for the employees, to which employee you need to pass the ID, the order going to create, and for which order, okay, you are going to create a line item. So you need to mention everything in the end URL, so that make sense to the customer, right, to the client, like, who is going to consume this, right? So they are very clear. Okay, I am going to create this particular line item for this order, and this order belongs to this employee. So everything is there in a endpoint. Okay, so that's a good way of creating the endpoint. Okay, so same way, like, for delete or put a delete get, okay, you need to pass the line item ID, and for that line item ID you will be getting all the data. So if you are clear with these two, like these two formats, then I think you are good enough. Okay, and on top of these valid formats, so some of the common mistakes which we do is, like, we always want to go with one URL, and we try to pause what kind of operation we want to do with a parameter, and we pass everything as a parameter. Okay, this doesn't make sense, right? Like, there is an issue with this, like, you are creating a lot of issues in the future with this particular configuration. Okay, and on top of that, okay, here what I am trying to do, okay, I'm adding the update, right? I shouldn't be using the update no keyword with the name. Okay, so here, okay, I trying to do the update. I shouldn't be doing that. Okay, so these are some of the invalid formats of using the REST APIs. Okay. And as I said, you can use a singular format only when you are very sure that it is always going to be, single resource in the data store. Okay, if in that case you can go with a singular format, like it can be get, put, or delete, or post. Okay, thought you guys are good. Like, make sure you are understanding using the singular or plural format of the names. Okay, only when it is it's a single. Okay, only when it is single, you go with a single, or you should always be using the plural format for the collection of resources. Okay, and never use the CURD operation in your names. Okay, so these are the two key words you need to understand when you form an ND URL for a REST API. Okay, thank you. Bye.